Photo video tutorials by Andrew Buckle. In this tutorial I'm just going to show you how you can create an abstract design using gradients. Infinity. Now first thing to do, just go to a layer and new layer and then the gradient tool and just drag that over. Now it doesn't particularly look very abstract, but at this point I'm going to change that to elliptical and then I'm just going to click there, and now you can't move these points, so try and drag those, they won't move. But what you can do, you can actually just set them to opacity 0 and click that one, opacity 0. So basically they're not there now. What you can do then is just click there and create a new stop, and I'm going to set that to 100%. I'm going to go for black and I'm just going to click there and again black, and then I'm going to go for something in the middle. Now sometimes it doesn't actually appear, you have to just work with it. There, right. Now I'm going to set that to red. Now you of course can set it to any other colour, and you can set any other colours there as well. Now what I'm going to do then, I'm just going to actually move this midpoint, just see this little midpoint indicator, just over really close to that, and the midpoint close that way as well. Right, once you've actually got that, you've got this, you can see this lovely sort of very, very sharp design there. Now, just going to resize that slightly. But now, what I'm going to do, go for filters and distort and deform. Now it's a pixel layer, so you can just quickly go and deform that. And you'll see over here you've got the pops up there, deform, and you can add points there. So you can just drag this, and you of course can tweak this and mess around with this in numerous ways, and some work better than others. So if you don't actually like it, you suddenly think, oh, I don't like that one, so you can remove it, just quickly delete, and then stretch that out again, distort that, and you can add another point over there and see, distort it and distort that. And again, let's say if you're not happy with the actual end result each time, you can decide, well, I don't really want that, and I can then delete it. Right, I'm just going to go with that. So I've got a very unusual distorted, but of course you could create a completely different design, and you of course could use a different, slightly different gradient, maybe with 2, 3, 4 different rings, whatever. Now, once you're happy with that, do remember just quickly click apply. If you don't do that, suddenly you'll lose it and you think, wow, that's strange, it's gone. So click apply, and now you've got the thing. It's actually, you notice it's quite big there. Now what I'm going to do, just going to hold the Alt key down and duplicate it. It's just a pixel layer, so you can just duplicate it numerous times. You could of course distort that again. And so once you've actually got that sort of number, you can probably also, if you want, you can always rotate it. You don't have to keep it in the same angle. You can change that as well. You can resize them, rotate that one as well, and then you can actually select all of those as well. So you can actually just select multiple ones. You can select all of them if you wish as well. So you just go down there, all pixels, and just hold the Alt down to create a, maybe very quickly create a background instead of doing it individually. And again, of course, you can rotate the whole lot, so you don't have to keep them the same position. And I'm just going to drag that over. Straight away you can see you've actually created quite an abstract background very, very, very quickly. Now you can also modify that as well, so you can actually just go now, once you've actually created all those, you can just go down there and select all of them. That just makes certain you've actually selected all, not just a few. So best to click down there and then go all the way up the top, hold shift down and select them all, and then go to layer and merge selected. So all now merged into a single layer. Now you could have stopped at this point now, but you can of course still modify it further with deform. So you can actually go to filters and distort and deform. So you can deform that as well. Just drag that out, distort that in other ways to create some very weird abstract sort of with these lovely sort of string-like shapes. Like I say, sometimes you can get some very extreme distorted lines like that, or you could of course just leave it as is. So cancel that and go back. But the key thing here is sometimes actually I find that the with a colour, it's not, doesn't work so well. It doesn't create that sort of abstract design that I really like. And layer and new adjustment layer. And then just go down to black and white adjustments. And then you've got that lovely, and you can modify this, of course. You can create some very unusual, just by changing, move that up there, to create a very, very abstract background, just by doing that. And again, once you're finished, just go there, and you can flatten obviously the thing, just completely merge visible, select all of those and merge into one. So merge. Now, of course, unfortunately what happens is you've still got this earlier stuff, so what you can do, you can just quickly just get rid of that. So it's all just one layer now you're working with instead of multiple. And then you of course can continue from there and use other filters. So you can just go to filters and distort and deform again, or maybe perspective. So you can just say, just go around like that and distort that as well. And pull that around and much more. And there you have it, a quick way of creating some very abstract and unusual backgrounds using very basic gradient ring design. Hope you found this of interest. Thank you much.